Think back to the 1960s for a moment. Life felt a little simpler, a little freer, and the toy aisle was full of wonders that seemed almost magical. But here's the thing. Back then, nobody really worried much about safety labels. If it looked fun, it was on the shelf. Some of those toys gave kids unforgettable memories, and others, well, let's just say they wouldn't make it past the first safety test today. So, let's take a trip back in time and look at 10 toys from the 60s that would almost certainly be banned today.
Yes, you heard that right. In the early 60s, kids could buy a toy lab that actually came with small amounts of radioactive material. Imagine a 12-year-old waving around a Geiger counter in the living room while mom made dinner. It sounded like cutting-edge science back then, but today, it makes us shake our heads. Still, for the kids who owned it, this was like holding the future of technology in their hands.
No family cookout felt complete without a set of lawn darts. These were oversized darts with heavy metal tips that you'd toss high into the air, hoping they landed inside a target ring. The problem? They didn't always land where you wanted. Hospitals saw more than a few injuries from these things, and by the 80s they were banned completely. But in the 60s, they were the highlight of summer afternoons. You probably remember the sound. Clack, clack, clack. Two acrylic balls on a string, smacking together in a rhythm that kids couldn't get enough of. But when the balls broke, and they often did, sharp plastic shards went flying in every direction. Still, for a brief moment in the 60s, every playground echoed with that unmistakable clacking sound. This wasn't just a toy gun. It was the toy gun. With 7 different functions, including a grenade launcher and a rocket, it looked like something out of a spy movie. Kids loved it, and it was one of the best-selling toys of the decade. Of course, today, handing a child a giant plastic rifle with working projectiles would raise more than a few eyebrows. Now, this one felt like magic. You'd pour colorful liquid plastic into metal molds shaped like bugs or creatures, then cook it on a hot plate until it hardened. The result was a rubbery toy you made yourself. The downside? Burns, fumes, and more than a few melted countertops. But if you were a kid in the 60s, you felt like a little inventor every time you used it. Back in the 60s, chemistry kits were no joke. They came with real chemicals that could fizz, smoke, or even cause small explosions if you weren't careful. For some kids, this was the spark that inspired a lifetime love of science. For others, it was a singed eyebrow. Today's kits are much safer, but they'll never feel quite as thrilling as the originals. This one sounds unbelievable, but it was real. A toy gun hidden inside a child's belt buckle. With the press of a button, out popped a little plastic pistol ready to fire a cap. It made kids feel like secret agents or cowboys. Looking back now, it's hard to imagine how this idea ever made it past the drawing board. This one sounds unbelievable, but it was real. A toy gun hidden inside a child's belt buckle. With the press of a button, out popped a little plastic pistol ready to fire a cap. It made kids feel like secret agents or cowboys. Looking back now, it's hard to imagine how this idea ever made it past the drawing board. This toy promised adventure, with kids pretending they were explorers firing tiny darts across the yard. The blowgun really worked, which was the problem. Parents soon learned that kids and sharp little projectiles weren't the best mix. It disappeared from shelves, but not before leaving behind plenty of neighborhood stories. At first glance, they looked harmless, just a little nylon hammock to hang between 2 trees. But without wooden spreaders to keep them open, they were more like traps than toys. Kids could get tangled up inside, and sadly, accidents were far too common. They eventually vanished, but in the 60s, backyards across America swayed with these bright little hammocks. Looking back, it's clear the 1960s were a different world. These toys may seem shocking now, but they remind us of a childhood that was equal parts imagination and risk. Maybe that's what made it feel so adventurous. If you enjoyed this little trip back in time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments, which of these toys do you remember or wish you could have tried?